Karn the Betrayer is the champion of Khorne, and perhaps the most accomplished melee fighter in Space Marine history. He was once equerry to Angron, and was actually the only one to speak to the Primarch and live when the Red Angel first met the Legion. Amongst bloodthirsty and crazed battle brothers, Karn was a noble world eater, even after the nails, being an exemplar of control amongst a sea of carnage. In combat though, he was a whirlwind of berserk slaughter, having a passion for massacre from the very start. He even had a kill counter installed into his armor as a gift. Throughout the heresy, Karn would fall into damnation, eventually becoming the crazed champion of Khorne. He would gain the title of Betrayer upon the planet of Scalathrax, in which a ceasefire was called between the World Eaters and Emperor's children, due to murderous weather. Enraged, Karn set the shelters of his brothers to flames, and slaughtered his once allies for Khorne. Karn now leads a warband called the Butcher Horde. Typhon the Traveler is the champion of Nurgle and the embodiment of toughness. Once known as Callous Typhon, he was the first captain of the Death Guard. From the start, Typhon quickly proved his resolve and strength, claiming victory after victory in the many trials of the Legion. Even before the Death Guard fell to Nurgle, his resilience was that of legend. When the heresy was brewing, Typhon would greatly aid in the persuasion of Mortarion, and later become corrupted by Nurgle. He would come to see the Chaos God as his true master, not Mortarion. Through deceit, Typhon would bring his Primarch and their fleet to Nurgle and his corruption. The first captain was rewarded greatly for this plan, and his unbelievable toughness became that of unholy, incomprehensible invincibility. With the blessings of Nurgle, Typhon became that of Typhus, and was free to use his psychic powers which he had hidden for years from his Primarch. After the heresy, Typhus saw Mortarion as slothful and sentimental, and parted ways to travel the galaxy and prosecute the Long War. Lucius the Eternal is one of the most skilled duelists in the galaxy. Once a proud and regal individual, Lucius was the most lauded swordsman of the Emperor's children, and amongst the best of the best. During the Horus Heresy, Slaanesh took hold of Lucius's pride and drove him to insanity. He grew the habit of scarring his face, which eventually grew to an obsession. Perhaps one of the most terrifying facts about the swordsman is that he is virtually immortal. When one defeats Lucius in combat and kills him, they will inevitably have their own soul and body taken by the duelist. If the one to kill Lucius takes even a smidgen of pride in the act, the champion of Slaanesh will take advantage of this and seize their soul. That individual will slowly become Lucius the Eternal, through a horrifying and agonizing process. In his left hand, Lucius wields the Lair Blade, the demon weapon once wielded by Fulgrim. His entire right hand has been fused with the Lash of Torment, a cruel whip bound with the soul of a demonette. Isaac Ahriman is chief sorcerer of the Thousand Suns and the champion of Tzeentch. Aside from Magnus, he is by far the most powerful psyker in the Legion. During the Horus Heresy, Ahriman became famous for his actions upon the final battle of Prospero. The then chief librarian enacted the Rubric as a last attempt to save his legion from the returned flesh change, turning the majority of his battle brothers into dust automatons, trapped within their armor for eternity. Magnus was enraged at this act and banished Ahriman and his cabal of psychers. The chief sorcerer lives in constant sorrow and bitterness due to his grief, and is constantly searching for the answer to reverse the Legion's curse that he caused. He leads a warband called the Prodigal Sons, and has attempted multiple times to enter the Black Library. Ahriman is a puppet master of the galaxy, seating hundreds of chaos cults and bending rulers and commanders to his will. He is a master of manipulation and a true genius.